Hey, welcome everybody to this webinar today. We will be going over the pay application side of things when it comes to cost management. Couple of things here. We will go over how to set up the workflows for the pay apps. So the different types of levels of workflows, things like that. From there, we will then get into the upstream versus downstream pay apps versions, and what a budget pay app is and what a cost pay app is, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll get into that, and yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so let's go ahead and navigate to our settings here. Within settings, we have budget and cost. I'm going to start off with budget, and this is where our workflows will be set up at. All right.
Hold on one sec, Ramsey.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just me, but it's stuck on the presentation slide.
Oh, is it? I'm sorry. 1 second. Let me try to close. Let me reshare my screen. Maybe that's what it is. All right. Is it better now?
I'm not seeing anything. Maybe it's my end. Sarah, are you able to see anything? I'm not.
I see, right now I see
Okay.
Autodesk cost, select an approval workflow template.
Yeah,
perfect.
It just
Yeah, that's
popped up on my end.
Okay, cool.
Might have been my issue. My apologies, Ramsey.
No worries. Yeah, so here for our workflows on the budget side, we can go ahead and select a multi-tier workflow. So yeah, it goes all the way up until 11, and then after 11, it's it kind of goes into like different spirals that you can take it into, and it gets very complex. I'm going to keep it simple for today's presentation. We'll go with one-step approval on the budget side. So real quick, I want to explain what's the difference between a budget pay app and a cost pay app. Your budget pay app is going to be your upstream pay app that you're going to submit to. If you are a subcontractor, it will go to your GC. If you are a GC, it will go to your owner. So that's the way to think about these. And then cost will be obviously downstream. So any vendors and contractors, you will be paying on the downstream side of things. So yeah, with that being said, here we'll set up our budget pay app application workflow here. We'll just give this a name. We can just call this budget pay app workflow. All right, so this is going to be one-step approval. So right here, this is the condition that needs to be met to trigger this workflow. Now, it could be work completed this period, or the action can be applied to all pay apps that get submitted. I will select all pay apps that get submitted. We can go ahead and put in, since we only have a one-step approval, we'll just have one step here. So I'll go ahead and put who this approver is going to be. We'll just call it project manager approval. All right, and here is where we can select the how many types of reviewers we're going to have. So is it going to be a single reviewer? Is it just going to be one person, or is it going to be multiple reviewers? Do we have like 3 project managers I need to look it over because they're handling different scopes, et cetera, et cetera? We can select multi reviewers there and then add as many reviewers as we need. For now, single is fine. From there, we can go ahead and select our response due date, how many days we want to give contractually for it to be approved by the owner if I'm a GC, and here we can select whether it's going to be calendar days or work days. So this is where I'll go ahead and select the reviewer. I'm going to go ahead and select you, Vince, but Vince is going to pretty much get this as soon as I submit it, and he will be able to approve it from there. All right, so right here, this action upon completion status here will allow the reviewer to give a submission type, let's say. So their response can either be submitted or approved. Well, since I'm submitting it to Vince to get approved, I would want him to approve it, right? So I will go ahead and select approve there and save it. Perfect. So we have our budget pay app workflow there. I can go ahead and get rid of this one because I really only need one. All right, so that's good. Now you would rinse and repeat the same process here on the downstream side. You would just create your workflow, select it, and fill out all the information I pretty much set up already. But I'll leave my downstream one blank for now, and I will only require it for my upstream. All right, from there, that takes me to my budget side. So we've had a lot of work completed and we're ready to, start getting paid for the project for the stuff that we've already completed, right? You can see here I have monthly breakdowns of all of my pay periods here. This is pretty much set up. If I go to manage master schedule here, this is pretty much set up on a monthly basis and it's here in the master schedule. How did I do this now? The way I went ahead and set this up is by selecting add new periods. And here we can go ahead and select how long this is going to be. I believe I made this around a 12-month project. So that's why it's going from April, that's why it's ending in 2025. But right now what I'm looking at is the duration that I have set up currently. So let's go into our pay period, and here we can see the division that we can make. We can either make it monthly or we can make it do not divide. I'll explain to you what the differences are, but you can also do weekly and bi-monthly ones too if you are set up that way. All right, so let's say for example I wanted to do March 1st, 2024, and then the end date, I wanted it to be someday in 2025, March 31st. Right here, if I divide it up monthly, it will go ahead and break that out monthly for me. So now I have some new pay periods that have been added. Some of them are duplicates, that's why it's giving me that error, but don't worry, I'll cancel out of that. That way it won't affect what I have existing. But here I can, if I'm not doing like more, some projects are not as structured. Sometimes an owner will come to you and say, hey, just submit this to me spontaneously when you completed a set amount of work, or whatever the case might be. So let's say we're in April, the month of April, right? And we're just going to submit this on April 2nd. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the duration from April 1st to April 30th. I'm going to select do not divide here, and then I'm going to select done. From there, that will let me just do a pay app right on the spot so that I don't even have to wait until, the due dates and stuff like that. I can just make spontaneous pay apps from there. So that's another way of setting this up. And the last and final thing I want to mention is that if I am doing monthly breakdown like this, and let's say my contractual terms with my owner is a specific date of the month, I would just add the number of days to the first of that month, and then my new due date will populate from there. So if I add 24 days, that means the 25th of every month my pay app will be due. So there's multiple ways that you can go about this. You can change the due dates to be after start date like I'm doing now, before the end date, or after the end date. So yeah, that's how you set up your pay periods in a nutshell. I already have mine set up, so I don't need to set any more up. And from there now, let's just go ahead and submit our pay app. So I believe this one is paid. Let's go to one that's not paid. So I know 2022 was a while ago, so I'm pretty much backdating these, which some of you might do, just totally fine. But here in April, I can see that I have all of these lists of items, and I need to start putting what's been completed, what hasn't been completed, etc. The reason why I'm seeing numbers here on this section, this is my previous pay application. So this is what I have previously completed in my past pay app. So in the past month that I was just showing, we had wood and plastics, $15,000 completed there, material stored of $1,000, right? Now, if I come over here to this period, it's very important to look at the top. I will even zoom in for you, that way most of you can see it, because I know these can be very tight, very small. But yeah, essentially when you go to this period, now you will have the ability to enter what's been done. Well, I know my doors have been done, and I know the exact amount that, you know, I was charged for that. So let's say I had $3,200 worth of doors installed, openings. My percentage automatically gets calculated right there, and I don't even have to calculate it. And let's say finishes. I know some drywall was hung. I know based off of how many rooms were completed, I have a percentage. So let's say 25% complete on finishes. That will automatically calculate the amount for me. So I can either put in the amount or I can put in the percentage. I'm not really pigeonholed to do, you know, just one. So whichever information you have, just go with that. And from there, you'll just keep filling this out, you know, just as I'm doing per section, per division, however you have your pay app set up. All right, and then from there, you'll just go ahead and submit this. So I can go ahead and set this as submitted. All right, so immediately, as soon as I hit set as submitted, this dialog box comes up. What is this dialog box? This is my trigger for my workflow that I am going to send this through so that I can go ahead and get this reviewed and approved. Right now, my reviewer is Vince, so that's why it's saying remind Vince here. And you'll see the subject here, and then this is the email message that will get sent out to Vince. So I will just go ahead and send this. All right, so once that has been sent out, Vince will be getting a copy of this email in his inbox. And essentially what he will do is he will go into this pay app and process it. Vince, did you want to go ahead and share your screen and show what that looks like real quick?
Let me check, because I don't know that my notification setting for pay apps is turned on to instantly, so it's
Okay, no worries.
I don't know if the email will pop up.
If it doesn't come through, that's fine. I'll go ahead and process it here.
Yeah, it hasn't popped up yet, Ramsey, so if you want to continue.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so essentially an email will get sent out to your inbox, and you'll have a dialog box basically saying open this up and review. So let's pretend we're Vince right now, and Vince is reviewing all of this, and he likes what he sees, and he's like, okay, I agree with this. He can then go ahead and proceed and submit it. This dialog box here allows you to basically tag anyone that needs to be tagged in the next step of the process. In this case, since Vince is my approver, let's say he's the PM for the owner, whatever the case might be, and then he reviewed this and his response is going to be approved now. Let's go ahead and submit this.
Ramsey, actually, I did just get the email. So if you want me to share my screen and show everyone what that looks like real quick.
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
Here, let me see, grab presenter. All right.
Just switched you over to presenter, Vince. So
perfect, thank you. Let me just make sure I'm sharing the correct monitor here. Yep. All right.
Perfect. Yeah, so this is exactly what Vince sees. Vince can now go ahead and click into opening cost management. Did your screen freeze?
Did it freeze up?
Yeah, we're only seeing the email.
That's odd. Hold on. Oh, it's paused. One sec. Can you see it now, Ramsey?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. All right. So yeah, Vince, this is essentially what Vince will be able to see. And Vince will then be able to essentially process this through. So I'm going to set it as submitted again. And now it's going to change the status in real time on Vince's screen. and Vince will now be able to go ahead and review and proceed.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. So yes, go ahead and hit review, Vince.
So just to point out here, something important when you're looking at these review workflows, these little nodes as you hover over them will tell you what part of the process we're currently in. So Ramsey set that one-step approval for project manager approval. So that's the current step assigned to me. And at this point, I can do a review, proceed, or revise. All of that data and information that Ramsey was sharing is present in this pay app view. So I can scroll through the work completed. If I don't agree with whatever percentage was put in for this application on, let's go this period, like right here, then I could revise it and send it back to the originator, in this case Ramsey, with a comment. So if I do click that, I won't commit this, but same as you saw before with Ramsey and forwarding the approval, if I send this back, I can say, hey, at Ramsey, the percentage on the labor line looks low. Can you reference all time cards and make sure that's accurate? So I can submit this, send it back to Ramsey. Ramsey, I don't know if you pointed this out, but if it's a restricted comment, then only the people that are either involved in the workflow or the folks that are tagged in it will be able to see this. If I open it up, then anyone with access to the payment applications would be able to see the comment that is being submitted in the activity feed of this pay app. So I'll cancel that. We want to move this forward. So instead of revising it, I will click proceed. It's good.
Perfect. Thank you, Vince. All right, so yeah, let me go ahead and share my screen now. Yep. Can you see my screen, guys?
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah, so yeah, essentially Vince just reviewed that. So I'm just going to go ahead and refresh my page. I just got the email for the comment that Vince just made at me. I can go ahead and pull that up real quick while this loads up. Yep, so this is what it looks like. Again, opening cost management will take me directly there. I can see his comments. I can see the status here. So I'm a happy camper, and we can go ahead and proceed with this payment. Yep. So now my once I received the physical check, my my accounting department can come in here and set this as paid. So that's just basically marking it in the system as paid. I don't have to worry about this anymore. Again, I can't make any edits to this or anything like that. Once it's paid, I can always revert it if I wanted to delete this pay app if there was a mistake or anything like that. But I would have to go all the way to the beginning stage and revise it to do that. But once it's paid, that tells the system, hey, this is paid, no more changes, move on to the next month, right? Now, speaking of mistakes, in case you do run into like situations where, that are bound to happen on the construction site, essentially like the previous pay app that you submitted, you didn't submit for, or let's say you didn't account for an area that was completed and you needed to account for that, but not in the current pay period, but in the previous one. This one has already been submitted. So what are you going to do? Reopen it, revise it, and go through that whole workflow? Actually, there's an easier way to mitigate those kind of situations. And the way to do that is if I go ahead and hover over here, you'll see a little plus sign appear. This plus sign will then tell me if I need to add a second pay app to the same pay period. So you will see here everything that's already been processed. And then here I can, within the same period, I can either do a deduction to my pay app or I can do in addition to my pay app. So to do a deduction, let's say, yeah, I was working on these two openings and that. Let's say I was $200 off on the opening, so I want to do a deduction there. I can do -200. That will automatically deduct that for me. And then I can do my finishes. Let's say I was 5% off. So I can add another 5% to that as well. All right, so now my total work complete has been updated. Now I can go ahead and submit the second pay app for that same pay period. Go through the steps again of the review process, proceed it, and set it as paid. So that's just showing an adjustment to that same pay period. So what's going to happen now is if I go to, let's say May, for example, and I created a pay app here. Yep, you'll see those, yeah, you'll see that new total there in the previous pay app, the 325 rather than the 270. And then the deduction from the 3,000 of the openings is no longer 3,200, it's $3,000. So I just made those edits pretty simple. Now it's not going to affect my pay app for the next month. Yep, so I know that's a lot of steps, but hopefully that makes sense. From there, if we needed to add any change orders or anything like that, we can always add a change order after the fact. So let's say I created this change order, this pay application, and then a change order came like thereafter. I can always select add change order, and then I can add any new owner change order that I have within the system, and it will be displayed here. Now, currently, everything is a column for change order, so it will show line item by line item just like this. There are a couple of instances where, you would want to add it as, instead of a column, a line item. So that will take it out from there and add it somewhere down here at the end as a separate line item. So depending on how you want to view your change orders, those are the mechanisms there that you can utilize. But yeah, that's pretty much in a nutshell what the upstream pay apps are going to look like on the budget side. Let's get down to the downstream. So our cost pay apps, they are going to be based off of our contracts. So I'm just going to assume I'm a general contractor, right? Because I have all of these divisions I'm overseeing. So all my subcontractors' contracts are listed here. Now, when my subcontractor completes any amount of work, that's when I can go ahead and either batch create for multiple contractors or just create for an individual contractor their pay app that I'm going to pay them, right? So let's do batch, and I'm going to select a pay period. Now, these pay periods are currently mirroring what I have on the upstream side. That's why they're pulling in just like this. I'm just going to go ahead and select the pay period I'm trying to work in. Let's say it's April. I just got paid for April, so I need to start distributing my funds. And here we'll go ahead and scroll down to the people that did the work. So we said finishes. We'll go ahead and select finishes, and don't have a opening for contractors, so I'll just go with metal studs. Why not? All right, so from there we can go ahead and create it. All right, so currently these contracts, let me take a look here real quick. Let me make sure. Okay, let's do these two contracts here since they have amounts to them. Those other two did not. So let's delete this, delete this. There we go. All right, so we'll go ahead and select just concrete, and let's do millwork, create. All right, so we have our concrete and millwork set up here. Now, if I go ahead and select this open details view, this will allow me to expand this even further and see just exactly what that contract entails, my schedule value, and then the pay app I need to enter. So there is another way to enter this information. I'm a little bit biased in that I like to work with more space, more screen space. But if you guys want to work, simultaneously while looking at this page, you can just click on this, scroll down to the bottom. Or sorry, not to the bottom, but yeah, you'll see the schedule value and everything right there. balance to finish, and then if you feel comfortable, or sorry. Oh, sorry. There's no way to enter the amount here. You can only add the change order. I misspoke there, but you can move this along from this view as well. So let's go back into our detail view. All right, so this is where I'm going to go ahead and put in my percent amount and my actual amounts here. So if I just select expand, I always urge customers to expand. That way you can see all your line items one by one and you're not missing anything. All right, and from there you'll go ahead and put in the work that has been completed. 4,000 PSI concrete, has it been poured? We'll say 25% poured. And then, yeah, we just have different iterations of it. Let's say we know this one is going to be $5,000. We'll put in $5,000 there. And let's do 10% all the way down. All right, that should be good. All right, so yeah, so once we have our amounts in, again, if you don't expand this and you are only able to put an amount up here, this will clear out everything here and just reflect the percentage at the top, and it will divide that percentage evenly down here. So just keep that in mind when doing this. From there, if I have any material stored or anything that I'm, especially post-COVID with GCs ordering their own materials, you can always put in payouts for material stored as well. Yeah, so essentially this is what your contractor has completed, and here we can see our total completed and stored. We'll go ahead and scroll through, and here you can see that I have a retention amount automatically set, right? Don't worry, right out the gate, this is not going to be automatically set. This is all because my setting is set up in that way. Let's go ahead and take a look at our settings real quick. You'll see here retention. This is where I can go ahead and select my upstream and downstream retention. Currently it's set for my work completed and materials stored. So yeah, that's why that 10% carried over. Just want to point that out. If we go back to our concrete here, expand all, scroll to the right. All right, everything looks good. Let's go ahead and submit this. Set as pending. All right, that's pretty important. What I just did was I set pending supplier input, right? I know that's just the next step. However, typically that step right there can be skipped over if you are entering it in manually like I am doing. A lot of the times this step right here is if everything was zeroed out and we wanted our supplier to input all of what they completed and then submit to us, that's what this step is going to be for. So that's why it's saying pending supplier input. Let's pretend like our supplier put in all this information. They'll go ahead and submit it to us. We'll look at this and we'll say like, is this true? Is this false? We'll do our site walks, everything like that, and see how we feel about it. And if our superintendent and everybody's saying like, hey, yes, it's true, this is what they completed, and we're in agreement, we can go ahead and accept it. All right. Again, we have that same dialog box that we can go ahead and tag any personnel that's going to be, assisting with this. And then we can go ahead and type in a comment saying, please see, whatever the case might be, and just pretty much accept it. All right, Vince will get that notification. So if Vince is the one in charge for getting these approved, Vince will come into the system and approve it. All right. Now, let me go back to revert to accepted. Right here, one thing that's pretty cool and important is that if you want your accounting department to be notified, like, hey, you are approving this, please cut the check and send this out to the contractor, you can go ahead and tag them here. So let's say, for example, I have my accountant right here in my accounting department, and here we'll go ahead and type in, please pay contractor. they will get that same email that I got earlier, and from there the accounting department can come in here, set this as paid as soon as they've sent out their the check to the subcontractor. But yeah, in a nutshell, that's it on the downstream side and upstream side. Key things to remember is your upstream, your budget pay apps are going to be your upstream pay apps to the owner or to your client, whoever is funding your project. And then your cost pay apps are going to be downstream to your vendors and contractors. You can do this for purchase orders as well if need be, stuff like that. But yeah, essentially that's it for pay apps. Vince, did you want to add anything there?
I think you covered everything, Ramsey. Thank you.
Yeah, sure, no problem. I will go ahead and turn it over to Sarah to take any questions.
Thanks, Ramsey. Thanks, Vince. I don't see any questions in the questions pane right now. Unless anyone has anything, we could probably just wait a few minutes. One thing I did want to mention before we let everyone go for the day is this is the third webinar of our three-part cost management series. So we are ending that series this month, and we are starting a new tech tip series in November. November 20th, we're launching a series, three-part series based on twin motion. And you all should be receiving an email invitation for those webinars. I would say within the next week. The topic you're interested in, definitely register for those sessions.
And they are all construction kind of related twin motion topics. So just want to point that out. Ramsey and I will work together to present those, but we're covering things that are definitely more related to construction than architectural visualization or product visualization for those ones.
Yep.
Yeah, the first topic is real-time visualization for pre-construction planning. So gives you an idea of what we're talking about. And I still don't have any questions, so I guess we could probably wrap up for the day. Unless Vince or Ramsey, you have anything more to add.
No,
nothing from me. Thank you all for attending today.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you everyone, and enjoy the rest of your Halloween.
You too, Sarah. Thank you.